Now on 18 Eyewitness News.
Authorities are investigating another potential child abduction. Republican Secretary of State candidate Shane Scholler campaigns in southeast Missouri. And Dr. Sunil Chan joins us on Ask the Expert. All of these stories and how long will this heat and humidity stay with us?
Coverage you can count on. This is 18 Eyewitness News.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I'm Fred Dawkins, and here are the top stories that we're working on for you at this hour. Authorities are continuing to investigate reports of a male approaching children in a very suspicious manner. The recent accounts follow reports of attempted abductions in the Terre de Lac, Bonne Terre area back in May and Fredericktown about 3 weeks later. Now, in those incidents, two suspects were in a dark-colored truck, perhaps a Ford Ranger. In the Fredericktown incident, one suspect was described as a tall, slim white male with long, dark hair, a goatee and mustache, traveling with an older white male in his 50s with gray hair. The two abduction attempts on May 17th noted the driver was an older male with a gray beard and the passenger, a tall male in his 20s with a large belly. Now, anyone with information on the latest attempt should contact the Park Hills Police Department by calling 431-3131. And now Dustin Kopp is here with a look at our first forecast. Dustin, what's on tap?
Good evening, Fred. Good evening, everybody. Temperatures at this hour are on the hot side, and it's been hot all day. Festus right now at 99 degrees, 97 in St. Genevieve and Fredericktown, 96 in Piedmont, 95 in Van Buren, 96 in Ellington, Poplar Bluff at 95, and Cape Girardeau at 94. Going through the evening, we'll see a partly sunny sky around 7 p.m., 96 degrees, 87 by 9 p.m., clear skies, and clear skies at midnight with temperature around 81 degrees. As we head through the next several days, we still have that heat advisory in effect in the yellow and that excessive heat warning in effect in the red, and that's in effect until 7 p.m. on Thursday. I'll give you more details on your forecast. That includes more heat and possibly some thunderstorms. All those details coming up later in weather.
Representative Shane Scholler is bringing his campaign for the Republican nomination for the Secretary of State's office to southeast Missouri. The three-term representative from Bolivar most recently served as Speaker Pro Tem in the Missouri House. When Scholler visited our 18 Eyewitness News studios, he told us that one of the most important issues under the Secretary of State's office is voter fraud.
Especially when you begin to think about, organizations like Acorn have been in our state since the mid-'80s, continually trying to put forth fraudulent voter registration forms. And what I think is really important is that when every voter shows up, they have the assurance that no one's tried to steal their identity and vote on their behalf.
Scholler says considering we're required to use a photo ID in any number of daily activities, it just would be common sense to require it for voting. He noted some states have even gone to a voter ID card.
And there's some folks that get concerned that voter ID, especially the form of a photo, may end up decreasing voter turnout, and actually the opposite's true. They haven't seen any decrease in turnout, and the reason why is I think voters have more certainty their vote counts. And Rasmussen did a poll earlier this year nationwide, and over 60% of voters believe that some form of fraud exists when they vote.
Scholler is familiar with the Secretary of State's office, working there under Matt Blunt. He is opposed in the Republican primary by state's Senators Bill Stauffer of Napton and Scott Rupp of Wentzville. The St. Francis County Relay for Life raised more than $131,000 to fight cancer this past weekend. The event at Mineral Area College featured entertainment, activities, theme lamps, and the Survivors Lab. Now, prior to Friday night's event, Chairperson Tara Gann told 18 Eyewitness News the impact of the relay goes beyond the event as it brings the community together.
The thing about Relay is it brings so many different types of people together to fight for the same cause, and it's just so moving and so great, and it's just, this community would not be the same without Relay event and without that many people coming together to do it, and so that alone, is amazing.
And Tara says Relay for Life recognizes it's just as important to give back to the community.
We've joined several partnerships this year. We've joined one with the county commissioner for the Adopt the Highway, and we've done it with Helping Hands. And so our relay teams, they don't just relay, they do give back to their community, because we stress that throughout the board. And I think that's really important. And without this in our area, we wouldn't have those outreach programs. And so I think that's, that's something that we give back, and that's amazing as well.
Tara says 29 teams took part in St. Francis County's Relay for Life this year. Well, the city of Greenville will be looking for grant money to build a community center. Mayor Don Scowden says the city will apply for another grant to fund their community center this September.
We're looking at a 60 by 100-foot building, so we're excited about that.
Scowden says they're still hoping to complete the city's walking trails as well.
I don't know, MoDOT is cutting some funding, so I'm not for sure if we're going to make the cut or not.
Scowden adds financially, the city is in better shape than a lot of folks expected, even with the 4 lanes of Highway 67 going around the city. And when we come back on 18 Eyewitness News, construction to improve safety on Route 47 in St. Francis and Washington counties. That story is coming up only on 18 Eyewitness News.
When you're looking for quality home furnishings, appliances, and more, look no further than Heartland Furniture and Appliance. Heartland Furniture and Appliance offers great low prices every day and 6 months same as cash financing. No hassle leasing and great customer service. With 3 locations to better serve you, the customer. In Donovan, Dexter, and Piedmont on both sides of Main Street. Heartland Furniture and Appliance.
Sing a song about the Heartland. Sing a song about my life.
Oh, the blood of Jesus washes. Let it wash you this morning. Oh, the blood of Jesus shed for me. What a sacrifice that saved my life. Where's the blood? It is my
Take control of your future by enrolling at the Unitech Career Center. Discover a new career with Unitech's nursing programs or the opportunities with Unitech's sheet metal fabricating program, or turn your hobby into a career with Unitech's power sports equipment program. From electrical trades to automotive technology programs, the first step to a well-paying future starts at the Unitech Career Center, Raider Road in Bonne Terre. For adult information, call 358-3011. For high school information, call 358-2271.
You're watching 18 Eyewitness News with Fred Dawkins, Chief Weathercaster Dustin Kopp, and Jeremy Martin with sports. 18 Eyewitness News continues.
Work continues on Route 47 in St. Francis and Washington counties. The section of roadway under construction is now reduced to 1 lane with a 10-foot width restriction. The project got underway 2 weeks ago. When 18 Eyewitness News spoke to Missouri Department of Transportation resident engineer Jason Williams, he told us the construction will significantly improve safety.
Route 47 between Bonne Terre and Route 21 in Washington County, we are adding 2-foot shoulders and edge-line rumble strips to the contract, and that's also a safety improvement.
Williams says the $2 million project is expected to be completed around August 17th. A Dexter woman will spend the next 12 and a half years in prison after pleading guilty to stealing almost $500,000. 48-year-old Kathy Ellsworth pleaded guilty in June to forging what is believed to be $485,000 in checks from her employer. She was originally charged with 66 felonies, 34 counts of forgery, 31 counts of stealing, and 1 charge of stealing in excess of $25,000. Now, according to the probable cause statements, the money was taken between December 2009 and November 2011. Ellsworth was employed as a bookkeeper by the victim. She forged the victim's signature on business checks, and although the checks on Ellsworth, which wrote on the account, were made payable to her husband, she forged her husband's name on the checks to deposit them into her bank account. The investigation determined Ellsworth's husband was not aware of what had happened. A Greenville man who was wanted on 9 outstanding arrest warrants will face preliminary hearing on those charges August the 9th. On Friday, 50-year-old Billy Joe Hancock waived his formal arraignment before Wayne County Associate Judge Randy Schuler. Hancock is facing a number of charges, including assault on a law enforcement officer, resisting arrest, and possession of a controlled substance. Hancock was arrested on June 28th after eluding authorities for 2 days while he fled a traffic stop. He's being held in the Wayne County Jail. A Patton, Missouri man is dead and 7 others are recovering from injuries sustained in a 2-vehicle crash Saturday in Madison County. According to the Missouri State Highway Patrol, 27-year-old David Gaines was traveling westbound on Highway 72 about a mile east of Route F when he crossed the center line and hit a GMC Yukon head-on. Gaines was flown to a St. Louis hospital where he later died from his injuries. His 3-year-old daughter was seriously injured in the crash and was flown to a St. Louis hospital as well. The 6 teenagers in the Yukon, all from the Kennett area, received minor injuries and went to a Cape Girardeau hospital for treatment. When we come back on 18 Eyewitness News, Dr. Sunil Chan joins us on Ask the Expert.
More heat is on the way for southeast Missouri. I'll have all the details coming up next in weather.
When someone comes in a Mineral Area's emergency department, our focus is giving them the best treatment in the quickest manner possible. We track every single patient, sending the doctors information before they even walk in the room. We have dedicated X-ray and CT equipment in our emergency department. We don't have to waste any time running all over the hospital. We know that minutes count in an emergency, and you can count on ER Plus at Mineral Area Regional Medical Center.
Now, here's your Storm Tracker 18 weather forecast with Chief Weathercaster Dustin Kopp.
And welcome back. It was a hot day here in southeast Missouri, and there's just more hot weather on the way. Looking at weather headlines in southeast Missouri, heat advisory and excessive heat warning is still in effect through 7 p.m. on Thursday for our viewing area. We also have temperatures that are going to continue to remain above 100 degrees through the end of the week, and it looks like some chances of thunderstorms are also possible for the end of the week as well. Here in southeast Missouri, it's on the hot side. 94 in Cape Girardeau, 97 from St. Genevieve through Fredericktown, 98 in Potosi, 95 in Van Buren. Ellington right now at 96 degrees. Here at the studio, we have a current temperature of 98 degrees under a partly sunny sky. Feels like 100 though. We're in that triple-digit heat. Once again, 65 is the current dew point with 33% humidity and winds coming out of south-southwest, gusty at 13 miles per hour. Another warm day is expected for tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine for southern parts of the viewing area and our area here in the northern parts of our viewing area. So pretty much most of southeast Missouri should see plenty of sunshine for tomorrow and temperatures well above 100 degrees. Clear skies tonight, low around 71, southwest wind 5 to 10, 73 in Festus, 74 in St. Genevieve. Down to our south in Van Buren, 70 degrees, 74 in Poplar Bluff, and 75 in Cape Girardeau. Tomorrow we'll see a high temperature around 103, 104 in Festus, mostly sunny skies, 103 in Potosi, 102 in Ironton, Piedmont 101, Van Buren and Poplar Bluff at 100 degrees with a southwest wind at 5 to 10. The next several days are looking like this through southeast Missouri. 102 on Wednesday with mostly sunny skies. Thursday and Friday, isolated thunderstorms possible, high of 100. Low of 74 on Thursday, Friday low of 72, 97 on Saturday and Sunday, partly sunny skies. And then on Monday, we're warming things back up with a temperature around 99 degrees and mostly cloudy skies. 97 degrees for Saturday with a low around 76, partly sunny skies, and 97 degrees on Sunday with a low around 71 and partly sunny skies as well. That's Check of your Storm Tracker weather forecast. More details to look at froggy96online.com. Just click on the weather tab. Fred, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Dustin. And now Fred Dawkins Jr. is here with Ask the Expert.
On today's edition of Ask the Expert, we speak with Dr. Sunil Chan of Chan's Medical Office and Family Urgent Care.
Myocardial infarction is the leading cause of death in the United States. Approximately 250,000 people die before reaching the hospital. The survival rate, though, is very good. For therapies to restore coronary artery blood flow is 90 to 95%. But patients who survive MI still may have a difficult recovery. Medical management of post-MI patients often requires unwelcome lifestyle changes, compliance with new medical regimes, and coping with significant after effects. These changes are important in order to prevent subsequent events including death, reinfarction, rehospitalization, minimizing the left ventricle remodeling, arrhythmia, heart failure. Beta blockers diminish myocardial oxygen and reduce heart rate. Blood pressure. The vasodilatation action of nitroglycerin decreases cardiac work and lowers myocardial oxygen requirements. The direct vasodilatory effects on the coronary bed also improves myocardial flow. Angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors expand blood vessels and decrease resistance to flow levels of angiotensin II, allowing blood to flow more easily. Statins are used to lower LDL cholesterol and bad cholesterol, raise high-density lipoproteins, HDL cholesterol, and lowering triglyceride levels. In post-MI patients, statin therapy appears to improve endothelial function and reduce the risk. For future coronary event, eplerenone, eplerenone is selective aldosterone blocker, limits collagen formation and ventricular remodeling after acute MI, and has favorable effects on neurohormonal profile. For patients who have experienced MI, gaining control of high sugars, blood pressure, and cholesterol is important.
If you have a question you'd like to ask one of our experts, log on to Froggy96online.com and click Ask the Expert.
Coming up in today's Your Life segment here on 18 Eyewitness News, it's a game that all kids play and one parents need to win. That's today on Focus on the Family.
I'm Jim Robinson. Sell by date, use by date, expiration date. These dates can be confusing when it comes to your food. But before you throw away anything you think is outdated and put money in the trash, see what's just ahead on Money Talks News.
Your health is brought to you by Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy. Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy of Deloge, where caring for you and about you is our business. From taking time to explain your medication, offering a caring touch, to a full line of medical equipment, supplies, and diabetic shoes. We'll help you understand your options and assist you with Medicare drug plan enrollment with a comfortable waiting area, convenient drive-through or free delivery. Caring for our neighbors is our business. Your locally owned Parkland Health Mart Pharmacy just off of Highway 67 at the Deloge exit. When you're recovering from a traumatic injury, the last thing you need is an unexpected bill. Because most health insurers pay only a part of air transport, Archair Medical has a solution, the Omni Advantage program. For a membership fee of $49 per year, Omni Advantage guarantees you and other covered family members will not have to pay anything that your health insurer doesn't provide. In an extraordinary emergency, the last thing you need to worry about is cost. Contact Archair Medical or visit them on the web to discover all the advantages of Omni Advantage.
Seems like there's one in every family, the kid who just can't accept a boundary without sticking his or her toe over the line again and again. Now, if this describes someone in your family, Dr. Bill Meyer has some help for you in today's Focus on the Family.
Lily Jo's mom and dad thought they had this parenting thing all figured out until she came along.
Just a common thing is to get into my lipstick, and I'll tell her over and over, no, 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 don't get into this. This is mommy's. And I'll turn around and she's into it again.
She'll pull the bar stool all the way over and climb on that and be standing on that, and it's rickety.
She's climbed the banister rail.
Yeah.
Lily, honey, you can't do this.
My colleague Dr. James Dobson calls it Challenge the Chief. It's a game all kids play, but some have it mastered.
Some children are going to learn the hard way. Their personality, their learning styles, just their temperament, they have to reinvent the wheel.
We've tried everything we know to direct her, redirect her. Lily Joe, Mommy said do not get that kind of cup. But every time we turn around, she's doing something we've told her not to do.
When kids challenge parents' authority, it's critical to respond correctly. First, keep in mind that what they're really doing is testing to see if your rules represent real boundaries.
Does Dad really mean no, or only when it's convenient? So that's what the challenging, that's what the testing for. Does no mean no?
Being consistent is essential. Also, choose your battles wisely and make sure the rules you make are the ones you're willing to enforce.
If they break the rule 5 times that day, they get 5 consequences.
And despite the extreme frustration some kids trigger, it's always important to keep your emotions in check.
You may eventually get to a point to where you're so stressed that you're condemning the child. We want to prevent that.
And so the parent needs to be under control, straightforward with what the expectations have been and currently are, being very consistent with that, and then following through on consequences.
And that's how, eventually, you'll win the game of Challenge the Chief. For Focus on the Family, I'm Dr. Bill Meyer.
For more valuable information on life's issues, relationships, and family, visit FocusOnTheFamilyTV.com. You're digging through your fridge. You're looking for something to cook for dinner, and behold, an unopened jar of spaghetti sauce. But you're outdated. Should you use it? Well, Money reporter Jim Robinson explains the dates used by manufacturers and what foods are safe to eat if the date has passed.
A starving college student probably doesn't give eating week-old pizza another thought. Pizza doesn't go bad, does it? Well, let's ask Manny Delgado, a food safety instructor at Broward College.
Definitely everything goes bad at one point or another. They say honey is the only food that doesn't go bad.
Aside from baby formula, there is no law forcing manufacturers to even put a date on food. Therefore, here are 3 dates you should use as a guide to prevent foodborne illness.
Sell by date, the store should be paying more attention to that. The use by date, that's mostly for the consumers. They should generally use it by that date. And the expiration date is, again, theoretically when the food expires and you should throw it away.
According to the FDA, milk is good for 3 to 5 days after the sell-by date. Milk should always be stored at 40 degrees or colder in the back of the fridge. Yogurt's good for up to 3 weeks after the sell-by date. However, if it's sour smelling or tasting, toss it. Eggs are still good for 3 to 5 weeks after the sell-by date as well. Soft cheese lasts about a week. Harder cheese can last a few months. Next, poultry. According to the FDA, you should cook or freeze it within 1 to 2 days. Unground beef should be eaten within 3 to 5 days. Ground meat, only 1 to 2 days. Even if it's within the sell-by date but smells funky, pitch it. Bread is good for up to 7 days after you buy it. Double that by storing your bread in the fridge. Canned foods usually came with expiration dates, but creative marketing eliminated the word expiration on many items. Fruits and vegetables last 2 to 5 years. Pickles and tomatoes last 12 to 18 months. Get rid of any cans with dents or bulges, even if it's within the best buy date.
Bottom line, food dating comes with a million variables, so just use these dates as more of a guide than anything else. Keep these things in mind and keep a lot more food in your fridge and a lot more money in the bank.
See the rest of my interview with Manny Delgado along with other tips that are always fresh at MoneyTalksNews.com. I'm Jim Robinson.
And there's more valuable information at the website. To get there, just go to MoneyTalksNews.com.
And coming up in sports, after sweeping the Cubs this weekend, the Cardinals welcome the Dodgers to St. Louis for a 4-game series. 3 World Series winning Cardinals managers were honored in Cooperstown, and Blues forward TJ Oshie is glad he is staying in St. Louis. These stories and more coming up in sports on 18 Eyewitness News.
Attention, Accutane warning. If you have Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, or inflammatory bowel disease, it may have been caused by the acne drug Accutane. Accutane victims have recently been awarded millions of dollars. Do not delay. There are time deadlines to file a claim.
Call the Rely On Group now to be connected with an experienced attorney. There is absolutely no risk on your part. You don't owe us a penny unless we are successful.
Call the Rely On Group at 800-698-3105.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, call now to get the new talking meter. These new meters are more accurate, they're easier to use, and the best news is you don't have to prick your fingers anymore. Arriva makes it simple. They bill Medicare directly. There are no upfront costs, And they deliver your supplies right to your door for free.
For more information, call 1-800-587-7095. This is Sports Zone, only on 18 Eyewitness News, with Jeremy Martin.
The Cardinals welcome the Los Angeles Dodgers to Busch Stadium for the start of a 4-game series tonight, with both teams hoping for something. St. Louis is hoping this weekend's offensive fireworks against the Cubs will continue, and Los Angeles is hoping for better results from Chad Billingsley. The Cardinals had scored 24 runs in 10 games before erupting for 23 runs in 3 games against the Cubs this weekend. For the Dodgers, Billingsley has not won a game since June 10th. In fact, he's taken the loss in each of his 5 starts since then. On Saturday, longtime Cardinals catcher Tim McCarver was honored with the Baseball Hall of Fame's Ford C. Frick Broadcasting Award. McCarver paid tribute to several of the managers and coaches he had along his way through the Cardinals system, but notably also to broadcast partners Jack and Joe Buck, with emphasis on the latter, who was in attendance at Doubleday Field. Then, as the climax to the program, World Series winning Cardinals managers Whitey Herzog, Tony La Russa, and Red Schoendienst were saluted on stage with the 2011 World Series trophy displayed nearby. Each man spoke of Cardinals tradition and pride, but Herzog got to the crux of the matter. Quote, "If I have to say one thing," Herzog told the assembly, "it's that Stan Musial and Red Schoendienst are still the Cardinals. When you talk about the history of the St. Louis Cardinals, it was Stan the Man and the Redhead. We've had some great managers and great players, but it's still Musial and Schoendienst," end quote. St. Louis Blues forward T.J. Oshie was hours from an arbitration hearing, a development that would have led to a short-term contract extension. But late Thursday night, Oshie agreed to a 5-year deal averaging $4.2 million a year. The 25-year-old Oshie will resume skating soon and expects no problems resulting from a minor knee injury that occurred in last season's playoffs or a tendon issue that popped up in each of his wrists last season. After checking with a number of doctors, he decided against the wrist surgery. And an interesting twist has come to light ahead of Mizzou's first SEC game against Georgia. When Larry Smith became the 5th straight Mizzou coach to be fired back in 2000, then Florida State offensive coordinator Mark Richt and then Toledo head coach Gary Pinkel were interviewed for the job. Mizzou hired Pinkel on November 30th, and Georgia hired Richt about a month later. While each has its critics, both schools have prospered by the result. Richt is 106-38 at Georgia with 2 SEC championships, and Pinkel is 85-53 in 11 seasons at Mizzou, but had somewhat less of a running jump to work with. The Tigers had won just 36 games in its prior 8 seasons. And that's a look at sports. Fred and Dustin, back over to you.
Good to be back here in southeast Missouri. I took a few days to go to Florida, but not to vacation, Dustin, so don't think I was down there enjoying a lot of sun. We actually went through a lot of horrific thunderstorms and lightning down there while I was there, and quite a bit of torrential rainfalls, and if we just could have shifted it all up here to Missouri, we would have been in a whole lot better shape.
Yeah, you know, it's been dry. We've been dry for the last several months, and we're going to continue to be dry. The outlook for the next several months is looking above normal for being dry. Temperatures are also going to be above normal, so it's just going to be fun rest of the year.
Understand we're under a excessive heat warning right now.
We are, and we're also under a heat advisory. The northern portions of our viewing area are under that heat advisory, and then the southern portions are under that excessive heat warning. That's in effect until about 7 p.m. on Thursday. Looking at the 7-day forecast, Fred, we are going to see plenty of hot temperatures for the next several days. 103 on Tuesday, 102 on Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, 100 degrees. Chance of isolated thunderstorms through southeast Missouri, scattered isolated thunderstorms.